Oh hi. Rio de Janeiro, the city in Brazil. Administrative center of the state of the same name of Rio de Janeiro. The population minus 6.7 million people. 2018. Is the second largest city of the country and the fourth South America. Forms agglomeration with the population more than 12.5 million people. 2018. Large financial center and seaport on the continent. Scientific center. It is located on the bank of Guanabara Bay of the Atlantic Ocean, on the narrow plain clamped from two parties by mountains and the sea. Climate tropical. The area is opened by the Portuguese seafarer Gaspar de Lamaci, who took Guanabara Bay for the mouth of the river which was called the Janeiro River. In 1531 the Portuguese Fort San Sebastian is based by Rio de Janeiro. Since 1763, the capital of the Vice-Kingdom of Brazil. Since 1822, the capital of the independent Brazilian Empire. In 1889-1960, the capital of the Republic of the United States of Brazil. The historic center with constructions of the 16th, 19th centuries, the coast together with the Copacabana beach, the mountain, the sugar head and Christ statue are entered in the UNESCO World Cultural Heritage List. Guanabara Bay was discovered by the Portuguese seafarer Gaspar de Lamaci on January 1, 1502. Portuguese took the gulf for the mouth of the river, from here the name of the city in translation from Portuguese meaning the January River. In 1555 the district of modern Rio de Janeiro was for a while occupied by the French, but soon Portuguese managed to restore control over the territory. The city of Rio de Janeiro was founded on March 1, 1565 Echece de Sá together with José de Anchieta and originally San Sebastián de Rio de Janeiro. In honor of the Portuguese King Sebastian was called. In 1763 the colonial administration was transferred from Salvador to Rio de Janeiro. Almost for 2 centuries the city became the capital of Brazil. During emigration of the Portuguese out from 1808 to 1815 Rio de Janeiro was also the capital of the United Kingdom of Portugal and Algarve, and from 1815 to 1821 the capital of the United Kingdom of Brazil, Portugal and Algarve. In 1960 the capital of Brazil was transferred to the center of the country, to the city of Brasilia. The city received the status of the city-state. State of Guanabara. In 1975 the state of Guanabara was combined with the state of Rio de Janeiro, and the city became the capital and the administrative center of the joint staff. In 1992 in Rio de Janeiro there took place the Conference of the Union on the Environment and Development. In 2014 there took place the FIFA World Cup of 2014, and in 2016 in Rio de Janeiro played the 31 Summer Olympic Games. Rio de Janeiro is located on a strip of the Atlantic coast of Brazil, near the Tropic of Capricorn, 22-43 Z.D. Generally the city is focused on the south. The city was founded at the Bay Guanabara, the entrance to which is preceded by the mountain under the name the Sugar Head, hallmark of the city. The Rio Center is on plains of the west bank of the Bay Guanabara. The most part of the city, a so-called northern zone, is located on northwest plains, hills and the small Rocky Mountains. The southern zone of the city, the beaches framing the sea, is separated from the central and northern part of the city by coastal mountains. These mountains and hills are a branch Serra do Mar, the ancient mountain system in the southeast part of Brazil which forms the southern slopes of the Plateau of Brazil. Free access in the extensive western zone cut by ridges was opened by the end of the 20th century with the advent of new roads and tunnels. The city occupies the space of 1260 km. Rio de Janeiro was the capital of Brazil till 1960 when the capital of the country was transferred to the city of Brasilia. Through Rio de Janeiro the Acari River flows. Climate of Rio de Janeiro tropical. At the same time rainfall is almost uniform for all year, temperature also significantly doesn't change. In July is a little more cool also to the land than in January. The municipality of the city of Rio de Janeiro till 2008 was divided into 6 areas. In May 2010 one more subprefecture, the island of the governor, was added, and now the municipality incorporates 7. Barranquilla, Center and Historic Center, Granda of Taishik, Island of the Governor, Southern Zone, Western Zone, Northern Zone. Subprefecture are subdivided into 33 administrative regions, in which in turn historic districts are allocated. Now than 162 is allocated. The population minus 6.4 million people. 2014. In Big Rio, about 16 million people. Residents call themselves Carioca. Rio de Janeiro, the city of contrasts. On slopes of neighboring mountains poor dwellings huddle. These are the poorest districts of the city, the favela. In the city there are several thousands of favelas. In fact, at the mini-states in the state. The federal authorities practically don't interpose in the matter of favelas. In the majority of favelas the standard of living very low, often here isn't present elementary conveniences, schools, hospitals, etc. And as consequence of all that, extremely adverse criminogenic situation and an awful sanitary state. Rio de Janeiro is known for a very high crime rate, including drug traffic, which is generally concentrated in areas of densely populated favelas in which power actually belongs to the most influential drug cartels. In 1972 the Union delivered to Rio de Janeiro on the second place on crime rate in the world, after Chicago. However, during the period after 1972 situation in the city considerably worsened. In 1974 for fight against crime parts of military police were entered into the city. Within preparation of the city for the FIFA World Cup of 2014. The final of a tournament took place in Rio. And to the Summer Olympic Games of 2016, authorities of the state and the cities made serious efforts for normalization of a situation in the field of law and order, including in favelas. In February 2018, Rio de Janeiro appeared actually on martial law. The Senate of the country decided to enter army into the city. The authorities were explained that it will help to overcome rise in crime in the megalopolis. The famous movies City of God. 4 Oscar nominations. Elite Group. Paul and Bear of the Berlin Film Festival. Elite Group 2 are devoted to a crime problem in Rio de Janeiro.
Being till 1960 the capital, Rio de Janeiro became the attractive place for many companies because there were administrative centers and the government.
In the city, head offices of the large state companies, such as Petrobras, Eletrobras and others were placed. After transfer of the capital to the city of Brasilia, Rio continues to attract many companies, especially after detection of the oil field in Campo Basin, where the most part of total amount of oil in Brazil is got. Thanks to it, in Rio there are branches of such companies as Royal Dutch Shell, EPS, ASO. Offices of the big international Coca-Cola companies, IB and El Paso, are also located in Rio de Janeiro.
Rio takes the second place at the national level in industrial production and is the second largest financial center, exceeding only Sao Paulo.
The industrial enterprises of the city produce foodstuff, chemical and oil products, drugs, metalwares, vessels, textiles and furniture. However, the dominating sector in economy is services sector, including banking and the second in activity stock market in Brazil.
The sphere of tourism and entertainments also is key for city economy and the country.
One of important activities is the construction, providing employment of a large number of unskilled workers. For development of production in some outskirts of the city by the government created industrial regions with the developed infrastructure and special conditions for purchase of the land plots. Also, Rio de Janeiro is one of the largest ports of South America, through whom there pass 1/3 imports: coal, oil, cement, cars, wheat, and a considerable part of export of the country: coffee, sugar, leather, valuable wood, manganese ore, cotton, fruit. From states of Rio de Janeiro, Minas Gerais, partially from the state of Sao Paulo and others. In Maracana, and there is a headquarters of the Federal Center of Technical Education, Celso Saco de Fonseca. Since 1979 in the city the subway works. The airport Santos Dumont is located adjacently with the downtown.
In 20 kilometers from the downtown there is an international airport, Galeão.
Also there is a Zacarapagua airport. The sport plays a large role in life of Rio. The most popular look, without doubts, is the soccer. Practically all soccer teams of the city in practice act as the multi-sports organizations. So, the most popular club of Brazil. About 36 million fans. Flamengo officially is called as Regatni Club. The same with other great team Vasco da Gama.
The third big team of Rio of Botafogo, and the official name has the word soccer because FV Botafogo was allocated from the structure of Regatni Club in 1904, and in 1942 the decision again to unite.
Port was made. Botafogo de Futebol e Regatas. And only one of 4 traditional sports grandes of Rio de Janeiro has no mention of regattas, at the Fluminense team. These 4 clubs are not only the main teams of Rio, but also enter number 12 traditionally of the strongest and most popular teams of all Brazil. The 5th sports/soccer team Rio, which much is giving way to Big 4 in popularity and achievements, is America. Rio de Janeiro hosted games of a final stage of the World Cup of 1950 on soccer. At Maracana Stadium, one of the best known matches in the history of Maracana's soccer win in the presence of 200,000 fans, the national team of Uruguay managed to beat Brazil, which for gaining a title of world champions was too draw enough was held. In 2014 Maracana became the stadium second in the history which hosted two finals of the FIFA World Cup, after Mexican Aztecs. In Rio repeatedly played Pan American Games. Among other popular sports in Rio, volleyball, including beach, motic, venue of the Grand Prix of Brazil, and motorsport. On the autodromes Acarapagua from 1978 to 1990 there took place Formula One races. Tennis, surfing, capoeira, jumps and certainly yachting or sailing. Besides Maracana, in the city there are some more significant stadiums. To Pan American Games, the Joe Haviland Olympic Stadium, better known under the name Anzenian, was built. Now on in Botafogo acts. Vasco da Gama, unlike three other grandes, always tried to play in own San Januario Arena in a northern part of the city. Also in Rio there is modern Hobby BB Arena. In 2008 there took place the World Cup in a semi-marathon. In 2013 the Cup of Confederations on soccer. In 2014 the FIFA World Cup was played.
In 2016 Rio became the venue of the 31 Summer Olympic Games, which yet were never held before in South America.
To this event the modern comfortable Olympic Village is built. Rio de Janeiro is well known, among other things, thanks to the Brazilian Carnival.
In the city there are several tens of schools of a samba which annually in days of a carnival arrange colorful representations on a sambadroma and also processions in various districts of the city.
From July 21 to July 28, 2013 in Rio there took place the 28th World Youth Day, a meeting of Catholic youth from around the world. With indeed Rio de Janeiro the Pope Francis visited.
Among cultural sites of the city it is possible to mention the Portuguese Royal Library.
Architecture and sites. Fortress San Juan is the oldest construction of Rio de Janeiro. National Library of Brazil. Locals divide the city into old, new and suburbs. In the old city there are a customs, docks, an arsenal, the exchange, National Academy of Arts, a city town hall and cultural institutions, including all theaters and almost all museums. The new city is known for Mint, prison, the main station and the nursing home. Other sites. Beaches Ipanema and Copacabana, the Flamengo Park, the huge Christ the Redeemer statue on the Mount Corcovado, the mountain Sugar Head. Port. Praia de Aquicar. Maracana Stadium. Port. Maracana. The known and the most visited architectural city monuments are colonial churches, the Monastery San Bento, monasteries of San Antonio and an award of Capuchins, and also the former imperial residence of Quinta de Vista. The Church of the Virgin of Lampedos is called in honor of the island of Lampedusa in the Mediterranean Sea where, according to a legend, there was a phenomenon of the Saint Virgin.
It was erected in 1929 on the place of the decayed building of the 18th century in neoclassical style under the influence of the Mexican architectural school.
The main attraction of the Saint Church of Lucia, constructed in 1732, the natural fountain which water is considered curative. And also Church Candelaria. In spite of the fact that streets and embankments of Rio de Janeiro literally roll in tropical vegetation, in the city there are a botanical garden and a set of parks. In a botanical garden which was founded in 1808 and which is one of the best in the world, more than 700 plant species from all over the world are collected. There is both the well-known avenue of palm trees and a collection of exotic animals and birds.
The Woodruff National Park of Taishik, in the territory of which Corcovado's top is located, is the biggest city forest area of the world.
Here it is possible to meet monkeys and exotic birds. In one of suburbs there is a zoo. In National Library, by estimation, there are 2 million rare books and manuscripts. The National Museum of Fine Arts has a fine collection in which more than 800 pictures of various artists are collected. More than 278,000 exhibits are stored in National History Museum. Partner cities. Flag of France, Paris, France. Pact on Friendship and Cooperation. In Elephant Avenue, Petro's Diligee, 12 chows, and a gold calf. Rio de Janeiro is a crystal dream of the childhood of the main character, Ostap Bender. The Person from Rio, the French-Italian adventure movie of 1964. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.